a raw hides and skins and semi-processed leather trade into a technology-driven leather and leather product manufacturing industry. By 1953, the task for the organization was very clearly cut out. Develop the technology and the manpower to transform the trading activity into a technology driven manufacturing activity. Through the years, we facilitated the establishment of every segment that was required in this transition, namely the development of indigenous leather chemicals, making available skilled and professional manpower, sophisticated and modern equipments, common facilities centers, fashion and design forecasting, and of course, policy advocacy. As an institution, we were ideally placed between the government and the industry to enable the development of appropriate policy frameworks that facilitated the growth of the leather industry. An assessment of the role of the institute in the overall development of the leather sector in the country indicates that for a budget outlay of rupees 102.12 crores plan and non-plan during the 10th plan period resulted in an overall turnover of rupees 79,400 crores for the leather sector in the 12th plan period. One may ask the question, how can the entire turnover of an industry be attributed to one single institution? The answer to this is that the environmental management technologies and the services rendered by the institute, coupled with making available the manpower for the industry, was provided by this institute, and thus the institute is directly and indirectly responsible for the growth of the leather sector in this country. The 73rd and the 74th Foundation Day of CLRI is being celebrated amidst a pandemic. During the same time last year, we had a lockdown and we had not understood the virus well. We even had to stitch the masks and also prepare the sanitizers and the hands-free sanitizer operators ourselves. Today, with the pandemic taking a hostile turn, the manufacturing segment has created self-sufficiency in safety products, though new challenges are emerging. For the nation to meet the emerging challenges, the R&D and the manufacturing processes need to keep going on. Compared to a full lockdown where we could only have our COVID testing facility running, this time around with adequate protocols, we need to ensure a continuity in our R&D to serve the industry and the common man at this time of need. Today, we have already agreed to up our COVID testing facility to a minimum of 500 samples per day. Let me just take you through a recap of the year 2020-21. Though a significant amount of research time was lost due to lockdown and the staff and students moving out of the city to their own hometowns, some significant achievements has come to stay with the institute. The achievements included winning the CSIR Technology Award, the NRDC Award for Innovation, the National Award for Polymer Waste Management, the election to the fellowship of the Academy of Sciences, Chennai, the Young Scientist Award of the INAE, prizes at the India International Science Festival, ChemCon, workshops and conferences conducted by the universities, DST Avsar, and also sporting events. My congratulations to all the winners of these competitions. The willingness of our scientists to work against odds during the COVID lockdowns ensured that the industrial needs were met. The certification of the finished leather was carried out against all odds, thus ensuring that the trade was not affected even during the lockdown. We also facilitated the leather chemical companies in their evaluation of their antiviral products. Thanks to the support of the institute, two chemical houses were able to launch antiviral products within a short time of 3 months. A total of 10 grant in aid projects, 6 consultancy projects, 9 technology transfers, and 1 technical service project was launched during the period 2020-21. In spite of COVID, some new facilities and facilities for which work had commenced under the leadership of Dr. B. Chandrasekharan have fructified. Today, we opened a new gate on the Gandhi Mandapam Road so that our staff and visitors could avoid a 12,000 square feet skill development center has been dedicated as a center for quality assurance. The integrated testing laboratory known as SCATTERS, set up in 2017, has been moved to a larger location owing to increased conduct of testing activity arising out of it being ISO 17025 certified and also recognized by the Bureau of Indian Standards as their recognized testing laboratory in 2021. We would also have the capabilities to test coveralls and other protective apparels hereinafter. A biogas generation plant and a renovated dispensary facility are today totally functional in the campus. Some smaller facilities such as a VIP car park, a driver's room, common toilets in the staff quarters, premises have also been put in place. Significantly, we built a COVID lab right from the scratch. The facility has now won laurels of the state government for its accuracy through round-robin tests. We realize that the physical meetings cannot be completely replaced. Safer locations and those that leave behind lesser carbon footprint are today essential. The Green Campus provides us the ideal space for such thought processes, and the Tagore Ashram and Raman Quadrangle have been set up to facilitate open sky discussions and meetings. Jigyasa has gone virtual. Keeping in mind Dr. Naiduma's desire that CLRI should make significant societal contributions, the Naiduma Hall has been transformed into a virtual laboratory in his honor. A herbal garden commemorating the 20 years of the TKDL and its point of presence in CLRI have also been put up. Our campus is the home of several cheetahs as well. To facilitate the growth and life of these species in the campus, a foundation stone for a deer park, a waste management park, and a pyrolysis pilot plant have been laid today. Marking the Earth Day and the Foundation Day tomorrow, the colleagues who would be superannuating between April 2021 and March 2022 planted trees in the campus yesterday. This symbolizes the incoming of the generation next, who would learn from them and take over forward the mantle of running the organization effectively and efficiently. Research needs to be facilitated. A motivation in the form of incentives had in the past fast-tracked the research to publication and IP protection. Despite COVID, researchers at CLRI were a part of some very good quality publications. A total of 216 publications came in this year, of which 143 publications had a researcher of CLRI as a corresponding author. Based on this achievement, an incentive grant of rupees 25,000 per publication is being provided to the laboratories. Accordingly, I congratulate the Chemical Engineering Department, the Inorganic and Physical Chemistry laboratories for 14 publications each with corresponding author from that department. I would also congratulate Biochemistry and Biotechnology and the Polymer Science Laboratory group for getting 14 publications each in total, but having 12 and 10 papers as their lab member as corresponding author. Thus, an incentive grant of rupees 3.5 lakhs to rupees 25,000 have been awarded for research purposes to all the laboratories as on today. The institute also filed 5 patents in the year. An incentive grant of rupees 25,000 per patent is being provided to those laboratories where the PI is a contributor. The year also saw 27 Indian patents being granted to the institute. To promote mentoring by chief scientists, each chief scientist is being allocated a grant of rupees 4 lakhs for R&D and R&D promotional activities. Similarly, each newly joined scientist would receive a startup grant based on their project proposal being approved by the Research Council. A few virtual competitions were also held during the foundation day. I congratulate the young talents, the wards of our staff who won the drawing and painting competitions and the essay writing competitions. The winners of the drawing and painting competitions are Ms. Natania Saravina, daughter of Mr. Edwin Paul, Ms. Saumya, daughter of Sri Sadikul Amin, and Ms. Janishuya Sri, daughter of Sri B. Rajesh. For the essay writing competition, the winners are Sri V.K. Kaushik, son of Sri Kumaran, Sri B. Niranjan Hari, son of Srimati Prabha Bala, and Ms. A. Aishwarya, daughter of Dr. Aravindan. I welcome Dr. Sugnu to this meeting. We are just giving a report of the institute to my colleagues as to what happened, after which we will formally welcome you and get going with the BM Das lecture. Our campus has much to be explored. The plants, the flowers, the migrating birds, and a huge population of parrots, cheetah, and of course the snakes provide a great ambience for us to work. We thought that we should capture them through the photographic lenses, and accordingly, a photographic contest was organized. The first prize for the photographic contest went to Dr. D. Murugan. The second went to Srimati B. Kanimuri, and the third one was bagged jointly by Ms. Surabhya Balasubramanian and Sri P. Kalayarasu. Congratulations to all the winners, and these photographs would now figure in our webpage on ecocampus.clri.org. With the next year being our 75th year, it is time for us to document the achievements of those whom we mentored. I am an alumnus of this great institution. Today, we have launched the alumni portal. I would request all our alumnus, whether you are a PhD scholar or a postdoctoral fellow, a diploma or a PhD diploma or a certificate program student, to please register in the portal alumni.clri.org. The alumni for the BTech and MTech programs would continue to register in the Alpha portal. The front page of our website has been redesigned. A more vibrant website is in the offing. In the days to come, the departmental web pages would also be updated so that the public would know what is happening in the institute on a daily basis. Colleagues, the social media has taken over the conventional print media. Even our publications are read based on the information put up on the social media. I would request all of you to be please active on the social media sites such as Twitter. To start off with, may I also request all my colleagues, well-wishers of CLRI and the stakeholders of CLRI to tweet what you feel about this institution under the hashtag 74 CLRI Foundation Day. Research tasks ahead of us are well laid out. We have reasonably done in the reviews of focused basic research, niche creating high science and technology projects, and the fast track translational projects. A strong effort to take the projects to the logical conclusions despite COVID forced regulations will have to be taken forward. We have, through the support of the Ministry of Commerce, Government of India, launched the first ever Pan-India Footwear Survey. The survey would cover about 1 lakh people and map the foot sizes and thus come out with the Indian foot sizing system. This would replace the Indian standard, which dates back to the 1960s. Projects for understanding the carbon footprint of the leather product sector, protocols for determining the genuineness of the leather and thus awarding a leather mark by the Ministry of Commerce, Government of India, and developing leather-like materials from reconstituted leather and other natural fabrics will be taken up vigorously. Our commitment to assist the government of Ethiopia and possibly other African countries in their endeavor to strengthen the leather industry in the region remains steadfast. The new projects would be driven by the enthusiasm and the scientific equipment of our newly joined scientists and technical staffs. CLRI today is a young organization. The average age of our staff is 45.3 and that of our scientists 45.9. We would continue to be reminded that a performing organization is not only comprising of highly acclaimed researchers, but that of teams. My younger colleagues need to build a strong and resilient teams, not across CLRI, but across CSIR and globally. We have embarked on a journey of being project and program centric rather than department centric. In our efforts, be it scientific excellence or industrial relevance or societal activities, we need to create a niche for CLRI. We need to take a path that is uncharted rather than follow a chartered path. For all these, we need to stand together as a team. The journey of CLRI from 74 to 75 is short, but we need to focus on our journey to 100 and beyond. We have a dictum to do better today than yesterday forever. And with the support of our academic partners, our stakeholder bodies and the industry, we shall progress. I take this opportunity to thank all those well-wishers of CLRI who through a 1-minute video clip had shared their views and thoughts for the future of CLRI. We shall leave no stone unturned to realize the vision of this institute. We look forward to the continued support and blessings of our past leaders, the industrial stakeholders, and all our students to take this institution to greater heights. Thank you.